Welcome back to the Great Minnesota Recipe. Over the past 2 episodes, we've traveled to Vergas and Buell, and today we're headed to Duluth. Today we're meeting Anusha Kannan and Kannan Kasturi, a couple that moved to the United States from India just over a decade ago. My friend Sharon caught up with them in their home to learn more about their culinary background.
Funding for the Great Minnesota Recipe is provided by Doherty Appliance Sales and Service, the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, and viewers like you. Thank you.
Oh, this is beautiful.
And even my earliest memories are, so there was a lot of love and affection that was put in the food, and so we absorbed all of that.
When my mom and grandma, they're cooking, we'll be smelling the sambar and we're like, Mommy, is it ready? Is it ready? And we'll be, all those wonderful memories just come back to me.
Both me and Anusha grew up in large urban cities, and we never had the chance to literally grow our own food. We never got the opportunity to do that. And when we moved to Minnesota and we saw this beautiful land that we have, we thought, oh, this is a great opportunity to grow our own food. In the first year, I spoke to one of my colleagues at work, Jean. She mentioned about straw bale gardening. So she loaned me her book and we went through it and we chalked out a plan and we said, let's try it, and got it delivered. We tried it the first year. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we had plenty of vegetables.
Produce. It was absolutely fantastic, and we kept doing it each year after that.
A lot of tomatoes, squash, eggplant, whatnot, like cantaloupe, watermelon. Oh my God, that was
amazing.
Yeah, it was a great experience to grow our own food in our garden and cook it and eat it.
Anusha Kannan, tell me what we're going to be preparing today.
Okay, so we are going to be making a bunch of stuffs. We're going to make dosa, that's rice and lentil curry, and we're going to make some chutneys, all to go with dosa, and we're going to fill up the dosa with potato-based curry. It's called a potato masala that's going to go inside dosa.
Oh, it sounds delicious.
Yeah, and these are all from southern part of India, southern delicacies.
Now, why did you say that specifically? Is it really specific to the region?
Yes. Okay. In India, we have different states within India. Each state has have their own specialities, right, Kannan? Yeah. Like Kannan is from Mumbai. It's very famous for pav bhaji. And what else, Kannan?
There's a lot of street food component so Mumbai is on the west coast, and if you start off see, every region in India has its own specialty cuisine. The northern part has a lot of paneer and cottage cheese and dishes that go well with naan bread. The western side of the country uses a lot of amalgamation between the north and the south. And the southern part is mostly rice-based, and a lot of tamarind. The eastern part of it has its own influences from China and the northeast part of the country. And so there's momos and noodles and a lot of variety in that region.
Tell me, how do you like Duluth?
We love it.
Yeah, Duluth has been
beautiful.
fantastic.
Yeah, beautiful. We love living here. We love the lakes, kayaking, biking in the trails. 7 minutes drive to lake.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
So is Duluth long-term home for you, you think?
When we moved, we didn't think so. When we initially came in the first year, but now I think we have our roots deep into the soil here.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to the dosa and the potato filling, right?
Correct.
Anusha, okay, now tell us what's inside here.
Now I'm grinding green chilies, ginger and garlic into a fine paste. I really like to do it this way. It brings in real flavors when you put it directly into the oil, into the potato masala. So that's the thing that goes in there. So ginger, garlic and green chilies. Then the other ingredients are potatoes, and then we need onions, carrots. You can use as many vegetables as you want here, like beans, green beans can go in here. So, to make it really healthy. And again, curry leaves and cilantro. That's all we need for the masala.
Now, masalas could mean the spice mixture, or in this case, the word is also used for this potato filling as well.
Sure.
Because it uses the masala spices in addition to mashed veggies as well.
Yeah, we call the spice mix, as Kannan said, the masala. So that's where the common thing comes in.
What's one piece of advice that you would give someone that wants to start Indian cooking?
The spices, like the list of spices, sometimes when you take a recipe, it can look, oh my God, so many things goes into it. But it's actually not that complicated. The steps might look, okay, oh my God, there are 10 steps involved or 15, but it's actually not. If you go systematically, step by step, taking on a recipe, I'm sure you will enjoy the whole experience of doing it.
Right. Spices is a big thing, and there could be 10 different spices on that recipe. Now, that could come as pre-mixed and pre-ready mixed spices available right in the store, and you could definitely start by just that instead of trying to grind your own spices and doing it the actual traditional way. Start with using the pre-made spices.
Every Indian house, they have their own secret masala and everything. It's not a secret, but it passed on from my mom, how she makes. Maybe it's from her mom. This is fenugreek seeds and some coriander seeds, turmeric, sambar powder, which we get from home. Then this is some lentils, urad dal and chana dal, all are lentils. This is mustard seeds. These are mustards and some red chilies. It's very handy. I can just use this very easily whenever I want to make masala. So.
Now, would you say, except for the one from home, you said in southern India, would you say all of these could be purchased here in Minnesota easily?
Actually, turmeric you get here
Correct.
easily, but the other things we get it from the Indian stores in Minneapolis actually.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Anusha, so now we're preparing the potato masala
Yes.
for the dosa, the filling for the dosa.
Yeah, so then you need to add mustard seeds. Again, that pop, splutter, bam.
Wow, look at that sizzle.
I like to let it splutter before I add anything to it, so that it, when it splutters, it gives out a whole different flavor than when you not let it splutter. So, yeah, at this point, I'll add chana. You can see that it's still in low heat. I don't want to burn any of these dals. Then we're going to add turmeric.
Is there an order that you need to add the spices?
Usually we add the lentils. The mustard goes in first. Then after the mustard the lentils goes in next. Then we add the turmeric to the oil. That gives it more flavor and color when you add turmeric. Then the curry leaves. Then I'm going to add in the ground chili, ginger, garlic. You might want to smell this one, Sharon.
I can smell it right now. It's incredible.
Yeah, so when you add this to the oil, it gives a whole new flavor, this whole thing.
I can smell the ginger.
Yeah.
The ginger is really nice and strong.
Next, we're going to throw in the onions. And give it a nice mix. You're going to saute all this for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Until the onion, changes color. We follow vegetarianism. Me and Kannan, we grew up in a vegetarian household, but we decided to stay as vegetarians by choice. It's because of various multiple perspectives, spiritual, health-wise, and environmental-wise. Of all these perspectives, we decided to stay as vegetarians.
Correct. Yeah. From a spiritual perspective, vegetarian diet in India is a type of ahimsa, which is a word that literally translates to no suffering. Ahimsa, himsa is suffering. So it tries to decrease as much suffering for the food. And so that type of food is considered more uplifting from a spiritual perspective. From a health perspective, there's quite a number of studies that have shown that more fiber and less processed foods are quite a healthier alternative. And from an environmental perspective, we know about the studies that have shown decreased greenhouse gas emissions associated with this type of a diet. So multiple perspectives.
Now, Anusha, I saw that you integrated all the vegetables, and now you're just letting it cook for a few minutes.
Yes.
Covered.
We added onions and carrots. I'm going to hold off on the potatoes and peas. Everything is half cooked now, the carrots. At this stage, I'm going to add in the mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to peel it, and mash it well.
So you never leave the skin on?
No, not for this dish. You know, mix it all up really nice together. And then, let it cook for a few more minutes so that the potatoes get infused with the other flavors.
Sure.
Then at this stage, I'm going to add the peas in.
Green peas?
So now I'm just going to let it all sit for like few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then the last ingredient will be the cilantro.
exactly, to wrap it up. See how it comes in.
Oh, it looks great. Really, the colors, it's good. They complement each other.
Okay, so this is all done.
Great.
So I'm going to turn off the stove and we can move it aside.
Anusha, tell me about your profession. What do you do?
I work as a financial system analyst for Associated Press. And also, apart from that, I love to sing and cook. Those are my two passions.
And I'm a pediatric endocrinologist, so I deal with kids and their diseases related to hormones, and so that takes up most of my work and time. But in my free time, I enjoy straw bale gardening and traveling and spending time with my awesome family.
Now, the dosa, is that something you made yesterday? Did you prepare that already?
Yeah, I started a process today. I can show you the one.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
I usually let it ferment overnight in the oven. And let me show you that.
Now, the amount that you told me, 4 cups of rice with 1 cup of lentils, how many individual crepes or dosas would you say that makes?
Makes a lot actually. Let me see, like around 30-40. This one batter can be used to make dosa and the rice cakes, the idlis, and you can make something called uttapam where you stuff the dosa with a lot of veggies. So it's very versatile.
Very.
You can make plenty of stuffs with this batter.
And very traditional for southern India.
Yeah.
And if you could see, it's sort of leaking out because it gets fermented, and sometimes the fermentation process overflows.
So there's no yeast.
There's no yeast at all.
No, it's natural, yeah. For me and Kannan, food, cooking, it all translates back to home, and everything brings back fond memories of our home. For instance, when we come back from school, we get reminded of how me and my sister, we all sit around our grandmom, cross-legged, right on the floor, and she will make sure that we eat, and we all used to make dinner together, all of us together, me and my sister, we used to help roll the bread. So food is it was the binding force, for all of us. So we get reminded of family and food whenever we talk about cooking and food, right, Kannan?
Correct, yeah. More than nutrition, which was also an important role, as the old adage goes, you are what you eat. So what goes into the food was what we absorbed. So there was a lot of love and affection that was put in the food, and so we absorbed all of that.
Now, speaking of family, tell me about your children. How many do you have, and were they born in Minnesota?
We have 3 kids now. My older one, Madhura, she's 7-year-old, and Madhav is 4 years old, and we have a 4-legged kid, Jay, who we got recently. And yeah.
Jay was the one who was born in Minnesota.
I see.
The others were born in DC. Perfect. All right, so let's start the dosa.
Oh, I'm excited for
Yeah.
this. So what kind of pan are you using here?
So this is like a flat griddle. It's called a tava. T-A-V-A. Yeah, and it's just a simple flat base skillet that you would get anywhere.
Okay.
And we just use that. So the key to it is to keep the right temperature. If it's too hot, it gets too crispy too fast and you can't get it out. If it's too cold, then it takes a long time. So I almost just feel it from the top and just feel how hot it is.
That is warm.
It is warm. So then if I want to make it a little bit less hot, I just take a little bit of water and just splash it out.
They'll
And
cool it down a
just
little
cools
bit.
it down a little bit, wipe it out with a clean cloth, and then I then start the dosa now. So this is the dosa batter, right? So I take a spoonful of it or a ladle full of it and just go straight out in the center and just drop it right there.
Beautiful.
And now you just have to evenly spread it out.
You might want a thinner edge.
Right.
Thicker center is okay, but the edges,
You want thin.
yeah, thin. Yeah. That way it's different from pancake. The edges are thinner.
Now, Kannan, you added some sesame oil, is that right?
Yes, I did add some sesame oil that it gives it a nice oily base. So it sort of seeps right into the base of
see
the
that.
dosa so that I can easily just like take it off when I need to. And I also move it around a little bit so that the heat gets evenly distributed. So just move it around a little bit. And now when I feel that it's starting to become a little bit brown there, I use this spice mixture. Now this is just a mixture of sesame seeds and some chili powder. It's called podi in Tamil, which just means powder.
Okay.
Now popularly it's also called as gunpowder.
Interesting.
Yes, and I think the term gunpowder comes because of its explosive taste qualities that it has.
Sure. It's going to add some color, I can tell.
Yes, and some flavor and taste as well. So you just gently just sprinkle it all around. And now, once we are done with that process, then we come to the filling.
I see the potato masala.
potato
Here's the
filling.
excitement here.
Right.
Okay.
And now we add it right here in the center and just mainly just even it out a little bit.
And are we still on low heat here?
We are still on low heat,
I increased the heat a little bit while Kannan was adding that.
just so that it cooks a little bit faster.
But it's better to do the whole batter process in low heat so that you have enough time to spread it and make it thin and don't want to burn.
Yeah, and I think you can increase the heat a little bit more now. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Just increase it a little bit now now that you've added the filling to it. And now you gently just start to
beautiful. Look at
move
that.
it up there, and so it gently just
Oh, look.
goes
it's
up
just
there.
perfectly crisp. Yeah.
Right. So you just let it move it around a little bit so that it gently evens off the surface. And you keep constantly checking to see if you don't want to make it stick too hard if it gets burned. So you could gently just persuade it by gently moving it around just to make sure that you're not gonna end up with stuck dosa. And then when you keep looking at it until it turns just a gentle caramel brown.
I can tell you've done this many times.
Well, with like many like attempts and failures.
Yes. Like any sort of cooking, right?
True, absolutely. And then you just go ahead and you just gently place it one on
see.
top and just give it a gentle nudge so that it sticks onto it. And then the other side goes up on top here, and that goes and sticks up on top as well.
It's beautiful.
But just a little bit
That didn't take
more.
very long.
It didn't take too long at all, yes. Just make sure that you get all the oil out of it, and you just take it up and just gently just slide it off.
There you go.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Yes. And that is the dosa. All right, so I'll start making the rest now.
So today I'm going to show the coconut chutney.
Beautiful.
So we have some roasted chana dal. You get this in Indian stores. And some cashews to add some richness to the chutney. And then we have curry leaves, coconut, Thai green chilies, and cilantro. And finally, I'll be tempering it with some spices from my masala box, mustard seeds and some lentils to give it a nice flavor.
What does the tempering do?
So it's usually added towards the end. It kinds of, aromatic, like it kind of aromatically makes the dish very appetizing when you smell it. It adds some interesting dimension to the chutney.
Absolutely. Would you say the different chutneys are really for cooling the palate, changing the different flavors of the dish?
Yeah, just to bring in the mint spice, the taste of mint, which has a very good flavor into the mouth. And this is like a little bit of a bland chutney. You can spice it up with chilies if you want, or if you want. And the red chutney to bring in more spice and color on the plate.
Sure. How has it been so far being a part of the Great Minnesota Recipe? Are you excited? And has the process of picking out your recipe been difficult?
We are super excited about it, and it's been a great experience because this is the first time both of us are in front of camera and cooking show. And like more than anything, we are very excited about sharing our recipes and about talking about our culture, about our home and everything. So it's been a great experience, and also like we have been experimenting a lot, right, Kannan?
Yeah, this is great because this not only involves just cooking a dish, which is in most cooking shows where you choose any dish that you want and you cook it, but this is different because you are inventing your own dish.
Yeah.
You're actually putting in your food with a traditional recipe from here.
Yeah, hot dish is so traditional to Minnesota, so it's a lot of responsibility on us to keep it as close as possible, and and still infuse like a lot of Indian spices, but still keep the taste balanced to suit all the palates.
Sure.
Right, and we need to try to replace the meat and make it as close as possible to the non-meat like version of it. And Indian spices could get a little hot on the palate, so we'll have to try to find the perfect blend when you can taste the spices but not be too hot.
Sure. Now, what would it mean if you won the contest and the cook-off?
We're not even thinking about that.
We will be happy, but more than that, as I mentioned, we are more excited about trying this new thing out and sharing our recipes with everyone. And we really hope that everybody likes the hot dish that we make, and we keep it as close to the traditional hot dish as possible.
And then remind us here.
This is the sambar, the lentil stew that we got it done in the Instant Pot.
Okay. And we have the dosa here.
With the potato filling.
Potato filling. And our final dessert.
That's the
Kesari. Or the
Kesari,
suji halwa.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So I think we should taste everything.
Let's do it. Take a piece of the dosa. You just basically tear a piece off.
And then after you taste individually, you can mix them up.
It tastes very good. Oh, the flavor really comes out. I can taste the coconut. It tastes delicious.
Thank you.
It's very good, very refreshing.
And you can dip it in sambar.
In the sambar. Okay, that's what I was going to ask you too. It's really incredible.
Thank you.
Lots of love in this.
I don't know about you, but I would love to have been present for the tasting of that meal. But this isn't the last we'll see of Anusha and Kannan either. They'll be back for the competition, and I can't wait to see how they will combine their traditional foods and turn it into a hot dish. Want to make their masala dosa at home? We've got you covered. This recipe and all the others from this show will be posted on our website. Sharon, Anusha, and Kannan also made a pineapple kisari for our companion series, Just a Bite, only on Instagram. Next time on The Great Minnesota Recipe, the competition is finally here. I can't wait to see which cook will impress the judges with their new and exciting twist on the most classic Minnesota entree, the hot dish. We'll see you next time on The Great Minnesota Recipe.
Funding for the Great Minnesota Recipe is provided by Doherty Appliance Sales and Service, the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, and viewers like you. Thank you.